Whew, it's hot today. Trying to find some shade. So, continuing looking at some thoughts while we drive. Sometimes it's driving to work, sometimes it's driving home from work, sometimes it's driving during work. And today, well, first I want to say this. So in the Journey to a Renewed Mind, I was just mentioning some frustrations and struggles about just loving the Lord, and how that, I guess the last 2 weeks, for some reason that's been a huge struggle. And I'm frustrated by that. I'm frustrated by, I guess, a lot of my own selfishness in a lot of things, my own just laziness in my faith. And it's been gnawing away at me, and I'm trying to recalibrate yet again. So with that, again, the idea of love the Lord your God, we jump into Galatians again, and the last time we were talking was Galatians 5:13, and it was we're called to freedom in Christ, and the freedom we have means that we are free to then love, and we're not bound by religious law, but we're bound by the love of Christ in us, flowing through us to serve one another. And Paul continues that in Galatians 5:14. And he says, "For the whole law can be summed up in a single commandment, namely that you must love your neighbor as yourself." And that's in Leviticus 19:18. And this flows from a lot of the same mentality that was going on there in the Matthew passage about love the Lord your God, and this idea. But this is a loving your neighbor as yourself, which, again, if I look at it and how self-serving I am most days, and seeking after my own desires most days, and having to lay that aside for the sake of Christ, then how much more do I need to then do that to serve my brothers and sisters in Christ, or just even those around us for the sake of Christ? So all of this is just kind of culminating into what really happens, what really goes on in my personal life. Am I really reaching out to those and loving those people around me in a meaningful way? And I was even just commenting the other day how I feel like the community within the church as a whole, not necessarily a specific church or anything, but the community and church people as a whole, I guess, is lacking, where I'm not doing this. Again, I guess sometimes it's even, do I really even love myself? Which we do, we're in our selfishness, but do I translate that to loving God and loving others as far as seeking to do those things? I seek for my own self, but am I seeking for others and to glorify God? Which obviously the answer to that is mostly no. But how do we really go about making these changes? And a lot of times it's just recognizing it, admitting it, confessing it, and then looking for those patterns in our lives that just distract us, take us away from where we're supposed to be. And I do think a lot of times that it's spending time watching shows, it's spending time reading articles that just are pointless, right? That have no bearing on life. Or just seeking after the worldly things, because if we're loving the world, we're not loving Christ. If we're not loving Christ, we're not able to love our neighbors. We're not able to love our brothers and sisters in Christ. So how much are we seeking after worldly things? And are we putting those worldly things to death so that we can then live? If we're honest with ourselves, we're probably not. We are probably giving life to the worldly things that we should not be letting into our hearts. So, and again, I could list all kinds of examples, but you know what they are. So, not trying to get down on anybody or anything here, but just let's be honest with ourselves about who we are and what we're doing. So, appreciate you guys. Have a great day.